How we doing, everybody? DommyGun, Rici here. Who-Bangin Sports Talk, live from New York City and Franklin Square, Long Island, the East Coast. Who-Bangin Sports Talk Studios. Thank you, everybody, for stopping in. It is Saturday morning. It is June 24th. All-Star break is coming up quick, and this is the time of year where I think that it's where you really have to be careful and be careful of these teams that some of these teams, some of the surprising teams that have been doing good. Watch what happens in these next 2 weeks. A lot of juggling around is going to be going on in the next couple of weeks. The last 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before the All Star break for me is always a good time, a profitable time, but a tricky time to place some wages on Major League Baseball. We already seen some teams starting to falter that everybody thought was going to be, good teams this year. Kind of like the Pittsburgh Pirates is one that comes up into mind. Everybody was jumping on that so quick. The way I bet baseball, I split it down into sections. I look at the full year, but only for context. I rarely go into the games that have now been played in April and most of May. I've been concentrating on the last 2 weeks in May and all of June right now. And by the All-Star break, it's going to be June and above. After the All-Star break, it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks before the All-Star break. And then I go. Once I hit September, I'm into the last 30 days to 15 days. So that's how I do baseball. That's how it's worked for me. We'll be talking about that in our betting workshop, our next one, which we will be posting tomorrow, will be on July 6th, a Thursday night, 8 p.m. This one's going to be the second workshop. The first one was pretty general. I know a lot of yous, and I appreciate the support. I know a lot of stuff we went over is some of the basic stuff, some stuff that most of us know, but it never hurts to have a little reminder and a little refresher. Sometimes when we go off into our down, streaks, it helps to listen to it and just hear those back to basic thoughts again, just to get it back in our mind. But mostly that show is geared towards, and most of these workshops are going to be geared towards the new player. And the next one's going to be 80, I would say 80% have to do with Major League Baseball and how we cap Major League Baseball and the tips and traps and what to look for. We'll see if I can get a couple of guests on to help us out with that. But that'll be July 6th. It's a Thursday night. Figure after the 4th, you have Wednesday to recover, and then you'll be okay for Thursday to join us. So that's what we're going to do. As far as any other housekeeping in Who-Bangin Sports Talk, we've been doing good. We've been growing little by little. This show's been growing little by little. This is the 4th week, I believe. I think May 3rd was the first, May 3rd or May 15th. This is the 4th or 5th Saturday we've done this. We started out with only 20, 30 views. Now we're getting close to 100. So it's working, little by little. We get there. But it's not about that. It's about putting out winners and about you guys, helping you guys out as much as I can. And in turn, you guys are helping me out too. So it all works out great. Don't forget, we still have our live sweat on Tuesday nights with Ix Nizzle and Jimmy Gomez. And we also have, of course, Tease doing his WNBA thing, 345 daily. And a lot of other things will be popping off soon enough at Who-Bangin Sports Talk. Shout out to Marley Betts, big brothers in bets. Marley's Bets joined him and Dave, picks from Dave Rogers, another good friend, another good MLB Kappa. I was lucky enough to join them yesterday on Marley's show. We had a good show. We all did good with our picks, I believe. I know I went 3-1, except for the Mets not showing up, which was a little surprising in that game for me. And like I talk about a lot, I don't take many Met games as far as I bet a lot of Met games, but not many Met outcomes. Met money line, Mets to win. Yesterday was only my 8th one. I won 5, lost 3 so far. So that's where I'm at with that. But we did have the Mets under 9.5. Myself and Marley, and let me shout out to Marley. He hit the doubleheader on that one. He took the Phillies, and he had the under 9.5 with me, so we both hit that. I had the over in the Padres game. I believe he also had that. I believe that I think Dave had a team total maybe on the Padres. So that hit. So we had a good day overall. Marley's Bets is really the name of the game. Last Thursday's lighted up 3-0 day. We're doing pretty good on the shows. So let's not go into any more records because we've been doing pretty good. I don't want to jinx us for today. So let's hit it. Obviously, I'm not going over every game. That's not my thing. On Thursdays, I do it sometimes because of the number of games. But there's no need to go over all these games. You know where to catch every game if you want to hit it. But, of course, if you have a question, I will be glad to answer it. Let's hit the comments before we know. Noli knows. What's up, Noli? How you doing? Waiting for you to join me, Noli. Light it up. You're up early on a Saturday. I'm waiting for you to join me. You know you always have an open invitation, as does my boy Paco Healy. What's happening, Paco? I was talking to our boy Damon yesterday about you, if your ears were ringing. Hit him up. He'll tell you what we were saying. And Mo Harris. What's up, Mo? How you been, man? Good to see you. Love you, bro. Let's get some winners in here today. Let me know if you guys are on anything. And let's go. First game. Let me see if I do this in order. First game, but let me just quickly. We got the Chicago game in London against Wainwright and the Cardinals. I'll tell you, the Cardinals been hitting, regardless of them losing. Even during their losing streak, if you look at the Cardinals' numbers, they've been banging home runs. They've been scoring a lot of runs in losses. Kind of like the Mets, too. Not yesterday, but the Mets, same thing. Losing a lot of games where they score a lot of runs. I believe the Mets hold the record right now of teams that have scored 6 runs or more and lost. And last night was another one. So, but getting back to the Cardinal game in London, last time they played in London was 2019. No, I hear you, Noli. I didn't mean today, but anytime, Noli. You're always welcome. You just got to hit me up and say you want to come on. I feel like I'll annoy you if I ask you every week. But same with Paco, you guys have open invitations, man, and don't feel like you're always welcome. No matter who I have on, no matter what, you guys are always welcome. Noli, you got the kids tournament today in ball. Good luck, man. Good luck with that. So quickly on this London game, last time they played was 2019. There was a ton of home runs scored. I think 20 runs were scored and 12-8, I believe, was one score. And I believe the other score was 12-something, was more than 20 runs. And what I read about this year is what they did is these two teams were supposed to play the next year, 2020. Then the COVID thing hit. Now it's 2023 that we're playing. They put the foul lines in closer, so there was wider foul lines last time they played, kind of like Oakland, I guess, where batters stay alive, or get caught. A ball gets caught when they shouldn't. But the foul lines were brought in, and the fences were brought out a little bit. And they said they compared it to an average Major League Baseball stadium. So that's what I got. But what I noticed, Noli, is that this the over opened at 12.5, and then it went up to 13, and then it went up to 14, and now today I just looked and I see a 13 again. So there was actually some buyback. I don't know if there's a weather issue there. Who the hell knows? I mean, we know what happened in Mexico. Yeah, Paco. But London don't have that same altitude thing as Mexico. But yes, we've seen what happened in Mexico, and that was just bizarre. But in a weird way, I was almost thinking that the first 5 under might have been a look. Yesterday it was high. I don't know what it is today, but I was almost thinking that was a look, just that they were unfamiliarity and they would maybe a couple innings to get used to everything. I mean, the player's body clock's got to be off and so forth and so on. But then when you look at that theory, the other pick theory is it's still Adam Wainwright, and the Cubs should be able to hit Adam Wainwright if it's in London, if it's in Japan, if it's in New York City, if it's in Chicago, wherever they're playing, they should be able to hit Adam Wainwright. So I'm not touching this game. I don't know why you would really. I don't know why what you would really want to play this game, but as a goof, maybe you throw a little something on it to watch it. Yeah, that is something that. I'll look out, see if anybody else puts any plays out. But that's where I'm at that. There's Razor Sharp Picks. What's up, Razor? Glad to have you in. Let us know if there's any games that we should be looking at today. I'd be glad to talk about that. But let's go into my games. First game on the docket that I got. All right, I'll stop again because I'm going down the list of the games. This game against the Mets and the Mets and the Phillies. Scherzer, it was supposed to be Carrasco. They switched it to Scherzer. This underlooks live to me. I don't know what Noli thinks about this. I think the kid, I think Scherzer's pitching a little bit better. He's back in Philly. I expect him to have a strong performance again, like he did. I expect him to do well. His last three, he's been up and down. A lot of this with these veteran pitchers has to do with the rules and stuff. I went over that a few times already. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but Scherzer's last three, 17 innings pitched, 6 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, but 20 Ks and 4 homers. Not great. Sanchez, who I kind of like this kid Sanchez. Even though he's only had 8 innings in his last three, he only went 8 innings in his last. He only started 6. So let's see, did he start 6? Sanchez, no, he didn't. But his last 3, 8. Oh, okay, he only pitched that one time. What was it? 2, 8 innings, 3.24 ERA. Sorry about that. 1.0 WHIP, 10 Ks. So he's had a decent start with his. I had something else down on him, but he's a decent pitcher, Sanchez. I think Scherzer's a decent pitcher. I believe the under might be a play today, but I ain't going near that game, to be honest with you. Mets first 5 under is definitely a definite look. But I do got 4 plays. Let's stop fooling around. Let's go to first. Let's go to the other New York team. Texas Rangers versus the Yankees. I did have the under yesterday that I gave out on Marley's bets, and so did Marley in that under 8.5 yesterday game. But today, Texas, Gray is back. His second against Severino. Gray is back after his second. I'm having a little bit. My internet just is blowing up on me. Okay, guys, sorry about that. So Gray's second start back off a layoff. That first start, 2 1/3 innings, 6 earned runs against Toronto, I believe. But they still won because of those bats in Texas are just unbelievable. They won 11-7 that game after Gray let up 6 earned. So that's something to think about. Severino, his first 2 starts, he came out of the gate pretty good. His first 2 starts. Then the wheels kind of fell off. He did face a couple decent teams in that stretch, but his last game was against the annual underachieving Chicago White Sox, who again, who for a little while there they started hitting righties again, but now they fell off the end, and they've been terrible against righties. Severino did not pitch well against them. Sorry, man, I'm all jumbled up here today. Severino's 0-2, 6.30 ERA, last 4 starts. 9.16 ERA, an over 2 WHIP, which is something I look at a lot, and a 7.99 FIP. So those last 4 starts are terrible. Yes, like I said, 2 of them are against pretty decent teams, but now he's facing a real good team. Then this team, I like a lot. I've liked from the beginning. They've showed me a lot of heart, Texas. I mean, DeGrom goes down, and they didn't skip a beat. He just kept on. They just kept on going and going and winning and winning. Their pitching is doing good. They've had injuries with their starters, like with Gray, and they continue to win, win, win. Texas, the last 4 games that they faced a righty. One was Kopech and two in Chicago White Sox. Kopech and Cease. Kopech pitched 4 innings, 3 earned. Cease had a decent more outing, 6 innings, 2 earned. Then they faced Bassett, 3.2 innings, 3 earned. Faced Richards, 3 innings, 3 earned. So they've had their 3 earned runs, except for one was 2 against the righties in their last 4. Gray is still 6-2 with a 2.96 ERA. I took Texas here with the first 5 team total over 2.5 minus 120. It's a bet that I take a lot. The Texas, Tampa, and Cincinnati had the best team total over records when it was 2.5 or more, and then when they were home, they were the 3 top in baseball for a while now. I haven't looked in the last week. I haven't updated those numbers. But even on the road, Texas just been dealing and dealing and dealing. I also took Texas for the full game at minus 140. Minus 140 is my top. I don't bet a straight bet over minus 140. And that's what it was today when I bet it. The weather, as I look outside, it's drizzling, it's cloudy, it's kind of like the same kind of weather as was last night in the Yankee game, which I wasn't sure if there was going to be a game because it was like this all day, but it never really poured. So weather could have an issue again today. I wouldn't, if it wasn't Severino, I've been banging these Yankees unders left and right. Last 10 days, the Yankees are the best, I guess you could put it that way, the best under team at home. The Padres, the Yankees, and I forget who the third one, or the top 3. Might have been the Guardians, but definitely the Padres and the Yankees are in the top 5, and the Guardians are in the top 5 of under teams for the whole season at home in baseball. So a lot of unders with the Yankees. It's a bet I've been going back to and back to and back to, and it seems to be working. The Yankees versus righties, 28th in the league, 101.96 average, a 143 ISO, which is 19th, a 595 OPS, which is 27th, and they're 28th in WRC plus, a 64 in WRC plus. And most of this is when Judge, now they've been hitting unders most of the year, okay, even with Judge in the lineup. But isn't it amazing that one player like that has that much effect on a team, and how the Yankees just fell off the map with one guy out like that? To me, it always amazes me, and it happens in baseball a lot. But it's not like the Yankees are just a team that's, that doesn't have any other bats. They got a couple other big bats. They got a couple of other good players. I don't know what it is, man. Without Judge, they're just nothing. I took Texas minus 140. I took the team total first 5 over 2.5. I think they get to Severino. Not a good team for him to try to bounce back with. Let's see how that goes. Mr. 1833 NC in the house. That's my friend Avery. Uncle Avery in the house from North Carolina. You couldn't have said it better, Avery. The White Sox stink. Noli, that's our boy, right? Mr. Avery. What a great guy. We'll have to. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, Avery. I'll let you know when we're gonna be out there again. I know when you guys are gonna be out there again. We'll see what we can figure out. And actually, I haven't talked to you in a while. I'll hit you up and let you know what's going on with us. But there you go. That's my pick for that game. Next game that I am on is Boston Red Sox versus those Chicago White Sox. Paxton against Lynn. Let's go with, Paxton 3-1, 3.29 ERA. Lynn 4-8, 6.51 ERA. Lynn's ERA at home, 7.64. Now, if you could look at the games that they played. A lot of those teams, the opponent that he played, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. It's still a 7.64 ERA. I don't care if it was against Texas every game. That's still an ERA that you just can't ignore. The White Sox, for some reason, cannot hit lefties always. They just don't hit lefties. For some weird reason, for about I remember about I don't remember if it was at the end of May or the beginning of June, but there was a week there, 4, 5, 6 games that they had some success against lefties. But I don't think they're gonna have success today against Paxton. Um, Last 2 weeks versus lefties, the White Sox, 225 average, 152 ISO, a 642 OPS, and a 75 WRC plus, which is 22nd. So they haven't fared well lately versus lefties. It gets worse at home versus lefty, a 240 average. Well, that one's not worse. 164 ISO, a 205 OPS, and a 705, I'm sorry, OPS, and a 90 WRC plus. So if you're comparing the numbers, they're slightly better at home, I guess, against lefties. Not enough. Boston's hitting a little bit again. Boston's a weird team. They're up and down type of team. Paxton, except for that one start that he had in June, that one start he had in May against the Angels, he's had 3 earned runs or less in all of his other starts. In June, let's just take June. That's instead of going all the way back. 19 in the third innings, 24 strikeouts in June, 2.33 ERA with 3 quality starts. He only let up 1 homer in the month of June. So Paxton's back. He's in there. He's in form, I should say. And let's just quickly look at the last 3. Last 3 for Paxton, 2-0, 19 innings pitched. So he went deep. 2.33 ERA, 0.88 whip. When you go under 1, man, like I was talking yesterday on Marley's show, you just love seeing that under 1 for a whip. I'm not the biggest ERA guy, of course, and, like most of us aren't, but I am a big whip guy, and that's a good one, 0.88. 24 strikeouts, 1 home run in the last 3. Lynn, conversely, 0-2, 17 innings pitched, 6.35 ERA, 1.47 whip, 26 Ks, though, with 3 home runs. So he has struck out some batters, but I like Boston in this game. I took Boston in this game. Let me find what number I took them at. And that was -110. I think that was a good price for Boston. I don't really understand the price. I would assume that's going to take money more and more and more. All right, Noli, have fun, man. Noli's on Oakland, Toronto, first 5, under 5. Good luck today, Noli. I'll hit you up, see how the kids did today in their tournament. We love Noli, man. Noli's a good old friend. Me and Noli started doing Light It Up. It was maybe 5 years ago or so. Maybe now. It was before COVID. We used to what we used to do a lot too is cap early in the morning, and it was really early for him. It'd be like 6 a.m. or so for him, but we would cap early in the morning, and sometimes just do shows and cap as we're doing the show without any picks. Just bounce back and forth. And so Noli's an original Light It Up host with me, and I know he's busy, and I know family life and stuff, and would love to have him back on a show when he has a chance. A good friend, Noli knows. Okay, so so far we got the Texas game, first 5 team total, and Texas for the full game, and we have the Boston Red Sox at a -110. What else can I tell you about that? About that game? Everything else I could tell you about is how bad Chicago is. Listen to this. Last 30 days, White Sox 18th in WRC plus, 23.9% K rate, terrible. 5.4% walk rate, which is the worst in Major League Baseball. They do not walk and they strike out a lot. You don't have to go too deep into a game when you're seeing stats like that. So there you go. My next game, another team that I can't stand, like the Chicago White Sox, and I think they're the mirror image of the Chicago White Sox, and they're a team that always people think they're going to be good. They're always the sexy pick. They're always a team that starts doing well, goes on a run, goes on a streak. They start getting that good press, and then all of a sudden, what happens? They start losing. And that's the Milwaukee Brewers. I just don't like this team at all. A lot of times I can't even just figure out this team and how what their approach is and how they do things. It's just bizarre to me. But Milwaukee's versus Cleveland. I'll tell you, I'm surprised Cleveland lost that game last night. I wasn't on that game. I stayed away, but I was close. We were talking about that game, and that's a game. I had Cleveland the night before against Oakland. It was, and it looks like Cleveland just like ripped them. What's up, Don? How you doing? I don't have an underplay, but Noli put up Oakland, Toronto first 5 under 5, Don, and I guess you see in my DM this morning. I'll send you that link. But getting back to Cleveland, I took them the other night under 8 against Oakland. Sears pitched for Oakland. I like Sears. Sears pitched, and he pitched a very good game. Both pitchers did. They pitched a good game. It was 3-1 in the 8th inning. Oakland's pen is in the game, and now everything just falls apart for Oakland. I have the under 8. I think I'm coasting. It's the 8th inning, top of the 8th. It's the bottom of the 8th. They end up. I turn on the game to see the last 2 innings. There's already 2 men on base. I forget how they get there, but now I watch a walk. Bases loaded. Then I watch another walk. Run comes in. 4-1. Watch another walk. 5-1 comes in. Then he bounces. I forget the pitcher. I was so mad. He bounces the ball right in front of the catcher, hits off his chest protector, and goes flying the ball. Another run comes in. Now it's 6-1. I have under 8, and I just cannot believe it. Now, of course, by this time, when that last run scores, it's 2 outs. There was 2 outs in between of that. There was 0 outs with the bases loaded. They walked in a run, got an out. Walked in a run, got an out. Bounced the ball. Now it's like I can't believe I'm going to just lose this game like this. But I got lucky. They got the 3rd out on a strikeout, believe it or not, and then I knew the Guardians were going to come in and just shut down Oakland for the top of the 9th. I got lucky in that. But why I bring that game up is they were talking about how Cleveland's been hitting a little bit better against lefties and this, that, which way they usually don't hit so great against lefties, notoriously. But their OPS has been, their ISO numbers not so much, their power numbers not so much, but they have been doing a little bit better and better against lefties. But that game, if you look at just the final score and why you have to dig deep into some games, is that 6-1 does not tell you really how close that damn game was with Oakland. It was a 3-1 game, so just something to keep in mind in that game. And then we see what happened last night, right, with Oakland. We seen what they did, right? So Milwaukee versus Cleveland. Peralta versus Beebe. The Brewers the last 30 days versus righties. Second highest strikeout rate, 27.6. They're last in WRC plus. They're the second worst in baseball in OPS. Okay, Beebe, his last start wasn't good. 9 innings, 15 hits, 3 homers. But that was against that his last two. But that was against the D-backs and the Padres, both who have been playing well. D-backs, one of my favorite teams this year, a team that's been doing very well for me. Padres seem to be coming a little bit out of their underachieving Mets-type performance. I compare the Mets and the Padres a lot together. Peralta has been giving up a lot of hard hits and runs, but he did have a decent win against the falling Pirates. And what I like and why I like Cleveland in this game, and why I backed Cleveland in this game, minus 117, is because of Beebe's splits. Beebe's home and away splits. ERA away 5.68, at home 2.57. WOBA away 3.76, 2.51 at home. WHIP away 1.66, a 1 even at home. Big difference. FIP 5.33 away, almost 2.5 better at home with his FIP. 2.70. So his home and road splits are there. I think Cleveland's bats are doing better. I think their pen is better, and I took Cleveland on the money line at minus 117. Let's see what the money splits say. Now it's up to 120. The money splits have Cleveland 51% of the tickets. This is all the DraftKings results of all 30 or so DraftKings book consensus. 51% on the tickets, 62% on the handle. So the money has been coming in on the Guardians. So that's what I took on that Red Sox White Sox game that I was talking about. Red Sox getting all the money, 78% of the tickets, almost 90% of the cash. The other game that I was on is the Yankees. Let's see where those money splits have gone. Texas, yeah, as you would suspect, 75% of the tickets, almost 80% of the tickets, almost 80% of the cash on Texas, and that was at a minus 135. I got them at a minus 140. I don't know which way that line has gone over the if I didn't look this morning, so I don't know if this line with DraftKings was a little less and then it went up. I'm not sure, but money splits so far have been in our favor. We'll see what happens. Listen, I'm not the biggest money split guy. I think people, too many people spend too much time on splits, and I listen to some people talk about splits down to the hour and stuff, and I just think that you're wasting too much time on that stuff. It doesn't always correlate, because if it did, we'd all be rich. All you'd have to do is watch the money splits. It doesn't correlate. I track it. You're not if it's yes, it's important. Yes, it's something to check a box, but to put so much effort into that, to break it down that much, for me, maybe it's the way I cap, but that's not a game that I like to play. So I'm not the biggest money split guy. Last game on the schedule that I got, I took a flyer on this game. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm going against the 12-game winning streak of the Cincinnati Reds, and I'm going against it with not such a great pitcher. But the line, I'll tell you, the line you would think would favor Cincinnati more than it did. I took the Atlanta Braves minus 128. And that's because Ashcroft is back off an injury, hasn't pitched in like 16 days, and he was terrible. He was supposed to be a good pitcher this year. He started out okay, but he has not lived up to his stats from the beginning of the year. Let's see if we can find him, if they listed him, because there was a late add-on, was Ashcraft today. Here we go. He's been off for 15 days. 3-5 record, 6.78, 1.62 whip, 6.78 ERA. His last three, 1-2, 11 innings pitched in 3 games, 12.34 ERA, 2.23 whip, 9 strikeouts with 3 home runs. His last 7 starts, 12.72 ERA, 4.55 WOBA, 2.14 whip, 6.93 FIP. Those numbers are not the numbers that you really want to back. Schuster, not too much better. 5.4 ERA on the road. Only 3 strikeouts in 16 innings, which is concerning. But I think the Braves bats will get to Ashcraft. I think the Braves. We don't have. We could talk about the Braves all day and how much better they really are than Cincinnati. But listen, Cincinnati has won 12 straight. Yes, I heard something yesterday about the teams that they beat and stuff. Listen, when you win 12 games straight, you win 12 games straight. I don't care if all 12 games are against the Oakland Athletics or against the Royals. Okay, 12 straight is 12 straight, and they get props for that. And Cincinnati does have a good record, especially in the first 5 with their team total over when it's 2.5. They have a very good record hitting that over. Cincinnati, the Rangers, and the Rays are the 3 home teams. Over 2.5 runs for the team total in the first 5. Have had a lot of success with the over. So something like that, you could keep that in mind. I wouldn't be surprised if runs are scored on this game. I might get a first five bet in here somewhere, but or an over bet. I definitely wouldn't be betting an under in this game. I think Atlanta comes, especially after that loss yesterday. I think Atlanta comes back strong. Let's see if the line has changed much. Seattle, Oakland, Atlanta. I still got Atlanta at a minus 135 now. I took them at a minus 128. Let's see what the money splits say. The money splits say 52% of the tickets, 59% of the cash are on the Braves. And that was at a minus, and that's at minus 135. So that's at the higher number. I took it earlier at minus 128. Let's see if Jared Schuster can bounce back a little bit. Let's see what he's done on the. Let's see if we can find any. Last week, okay, away 1-2, 1-2. Let's see his away numbers. 15 innings pitched, 5.40 ERA. He let up 12 hits, 9 runs, 8 earned, struck out only 5, walked 11. So he has not had a good start to the year. No quality starts. Let's see, ground ball to fly ball ratio 1.75, 1.53 whip. So both these pitches, the more and more I'm talking about it, as I still do like the Braves, and Atlanta seems to have backed Schuster up a little bit with some scoring. Maybe this over might be also a play to take. I know Don Play is looking for a couple of unders, but yesterday was the under day. I had a couple of unders yesterday, Yankees and Mets, but not today so far. This line, oh yeah, no wonder, okay? This freaking opened at, I didn't even realize this. It opened at 11.5. And now it's up to 12, the under and over. I don't touch games. I don't bet it over 9. It's 9.5. I leave it alone or go under. If I like an over, I just don't go over 9. I don't bet 10. I'm just not doing it. It's not a bet I like to bet. It's off the key numbers. 7, 9, 11 are pretty key numbers in baseball totals. Yeah, I'm not looking to bet really an over 9. As far as unders today, if I'm looking for an under, the Met game is a definite lean to the under for sure. Let's see what the splits are saying for this under. The under is 9. It looks like a lot of people are favoring the over, but still, if I was going to take an under base, that kid that pitching for Sanchez for Phillies, I think he's going to be okay. Now the Mets notoriously have been good against the Phillies. Max Scherzer might come out with a little bit more umph today, and I'll tell you the truth: the first 5 might be the way to go with this game, and stay away from the bullpens. Because the Mets did use a few pitches last night. So I would give a lead. I'm going to look at the numbers when I get off. But that Mets first 5 under doesn't look too bad at all. So something to take a look at that. If I'm going to bet it, I'll put it out on Twitter. I'm at Dom541, at DommyGun Rici. And that's really where we're at. So let me go over my plays again. Let's get out of here and do a little bit more capping. Like I said, any other plays that I'm on, I will tweet out. Thank you, Don Player, for coming in. Mo Harris, Noli Knows, Mr. Avery at AT33NC, Razor Sharp Picks, Paco Healy. Really, you don't know how much I appreciate you guys coming in, man. It's a pleasure doing this, and always the more the merrier, right? Plays I'm on: Texas first 5 team total over 2.5, minus 120. I am also on Texas for the full game, money line minus 140. Boston Red Sox minus 110. Guardians minus 117. Braves minus 128. That's what I got for you tonight, guys. I will be back Thursday morning at 10 a.m. for Light It Up. Like I mentioned before, July 6th at 8 p.m., Thursday night, July 6th, 8 p.m., we will be doing a second installment of Beyond the Odds workshop, where 80% of it we're going to attack MLB and how to cap MLB and different tips, traps, things like that, things you should look for, and hopefully we can help you out with some tips with capping MLB, and we'll like finish up our first installment where we kind of talked about the general rules about record keeping and discipline and things you need. We're going to talk a little bit about stats, how they're not all created equal, and what things you should look for when it comes to that. My tip of the day for today is don't be so enamored and don't be so keen on these money splits. Just be, and the whole public sharp thing. To me, that whole public sharp thing is 3 years ago. As more and more places are becoming legal, the public has becoming broader. The public isn't as dumb as they used to be. The public has caught up a little bit to the so-called pros and sharps. I never really fell for that whole argument anyhow, but I do think that's changed. I do think that you can get a little bit carried away with concentrating too much on the money splits and forgetting about other things that might help you. And that's something else we'll talk about in that Beyond the Odds betting workshop. So that's my tip for today. Let me get out of here. DommyGun Rici here, signing off, and I will see you again on Thursday morning at 10 a.m.